Join Hans and Scotty G at Tim Dolly Mazda this Friday from noon to 3, 10785 South Automall Drive in Sandy. Question up on our Facebook page. Smith Snowden, the latest Utah lead for Michigan. How are you feeling about Kyle Whittingham's Utah legacy? And mostly people are upbeat. It seems like most people who are commenting at this point are go Morgan, go Kyle, go Utah. That was the overwhelming feedback here. What do you think Kyle can do for his legacy nationwide? Because everybody is looking back at his Utah time, and we both know Kyle well enough to know Kyle is not looking back at his Utah time. Kyle is trying to build a Michigan roster and thinking, how do I beat Oklahoma? How do I beat Oregon? How do I beat Indiana? How do I beat Ohio State? That's what Kyle's focused on right now.
And then Utah in the playoff.
That would be so sweet. You think it's semifinal?
You would think it's sweet that he would beat Utah in the playoff?
It's how he would beat is what he'd think. What I would think is they are playing, and that is an enormous story.
But that's not what I said. I said that they're beating Utah in the playoff, and you said that would be so sweet.
How are you beating is what you built on. It would not be sweet.
What you built on?
It will not be sweet for us because we root for the show, and when have we ever rooted against local teams?
Yeah, but just to get to the playoff.
To get to the playoff would be awesome.
Yeah.
The week leading up to Michigan versus Utah and Michigan versus BYU would also be pretty sweet.
Well, the season leading up to that game because you'd have to
everything have to go. That would be fantastic.
Oh, I think that to answer your question, that it would enhance his reputation. He would be big time. It's like because I think people looked at Utah. They're like a cute program, and look what all he's done there with limited talent available, and which I think is overstated because the talent here in state, they'll tell you, has gotten a lot better. My wife would tell me when she was teaching, every Tom, Dick, and Harry would run through the school.
100%.
And they would talk to her because she had students that were players, blah, 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 and they're doing their research.
People like her are exactly why they come to schools to visit.
Yeah.
They can watch the film and talk to the high school coach on the phone.
Right.
There was a reason Steve Fisher, who built the San Diego State program, knew the name of the person who sat at the front desk, whatever their title was, at every school. Because they watch kids walk by. They know who's in and out of the principal's office.
They do.
They know.
Absolutely. 100%.
And he wants to know what they know.
Right, exactly.
Character matters.
And which is why I had NBA executives call me when the Utes were doing well. Tell me about the kid.
Right.
And I'd start to break down the basketball. And they say,
Shut up. I know about the basketball.
I wouldn't do that. I knew why they were calling.
Right.
And so with that in mind, that's the perception. And nationally, that's never going to change. And so now he's with the big time. And if he wins big time, it's like, This guy is one of the greatest coaches of all time, and he's so friendly to us that they're going to love him up as much chance as they possibly could. Nobody said, "What are you doing? You're hiring a 66-year-old."
That did not get said.
Who quit at the other place?
This guy is meat and potatoes football. He fits Michigan.
Nobody.
This guy doesn't have all these sketchy stories in his past. Michigan's got 3 super sketchy stories in the last 3 years.
That's why I wrote about it and called him Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
And so, but everything was praised. The fact that he was older and moving across the country with no connection to the Big Ten, nobody ever brought that up.
No.
And it was just the greatest hire they could possibly make. The best 2 hires, because you always see that, they'll rank the hires during the cycle. 1, 2, Kyle Whittingham, Kiffin, in whichever order, right? But it was universally praised. And now if he goes and wins at the level that is required, it's going to be, wow, he is
I wonder what's
right up there with the best.
So what's required? 10-2 and in the playoffs?
Oh, I think.
Ultimately, you got to win the conference.
Run at a national title.
Right. Ultimately, you got to win the conference, and if you win that conference, you can win the whole thing. Look at the last 2 years, and I think we all think Indiana's going to beat Miami and make it 3 in a row for 3 different schools.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that.
Yeah.
The standard is through the roof. It just is.
Yeah, I saw a thing that Oregon is 25-3 or 26-3 in 2 years in the conference, but they don't have a conference title or a national title.
Well, plus they've been getting blown out. the last 2 years. The 2 years in the playoff, they got
playoffs
blown
been
out.
blown out. Yeah, and even the Indiana home loss was pretty decisive.
Yeah, but
They had
it
a
doesn't
pick
matter
six that
as
helped them
much.
save face, and it doesn't matter as much because the playoffs still coming.
Right.
And by the time they lost that game, everybody could say, "Well, Ohio State lost twice last year and still won the title." So let's see how it goes.
You look at TCU, man. They had a really good run, but they got blown out in the final.
Mm-hmm.
BYU doesn't make the playoff because they got blown out. Now, I have my doubts if they would have made it either way, but they gave them that opportunity to criticize it. You got blown out both as like 63 to
There was
12
no
or
expectation.
something.
Everybody knew with this blowout, they're not getting in. You could think they should, but you knew they weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think they have to get there and then not get blown out. It's if you go, say Miami beats them 31-27. You're going to tell me that's a bad season for Indiana. Now, Indiana might be a different story because they're Johnny-come-lately, but like Ohio State losing in the first round, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Can't have that. Their first playoff, right? If they get to the final and lose, and it's a tough game, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. So I think that's far greater understanding, and I don't think he'll be under any heat if he does that. But if we're sitting here in 2030 and they have 0 playoff appearances, not good.
Yeah, I would think he's not there in 2030 without a playoff appearance before then. I get your point. The expectations are too high.
Well, depends. If they go 11-2 and
27,
don't make
28,
it.
29. Oh, yeah, but I don't think a 2-loss team. And I think in one of his many national interviews,
Okay,
I think I heard him say that.
Sharon Moore was not going to get fired, and they went 9-3.
But that was only after 2 years.
Yeah, but last year sucked.
So 4 years he's got to be in the playoffs. 2030 is the 5th. Yeah.
Okay, 28 and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm getting sidetracked on whatever.
Okay.
The point being,
The point is, A, you got to get there, and then B, pretty soon you got to be winning when you get there.
that's the standard.
Yeah.
But he knows that full well. This is Zippo on the surprise meter here.
Yeah.
He gets it, and I think they're going to have an excellent chance to do it.
This will shock you because I am schedule guy. I've already looked at it, and I've already figured 10-2. Now the rosters aren't
they're
set.
scheduled this coming season?
It's tough. They got Oklahoma for a non-league game.
I know.
I think they can win that.
It's at home.
They've got Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State are all on the schedule. And oddly, out of those three, but I think the game that he most needs to win is Ohio State. But we've seen him coach against Ryan Day. They had the better team. I mean, Whittingham punched above his, you have an NFL quarterback. Ohio State had an NFL quarterback and NFL wide receivers all across the field. Even though they were missing a couple NFL receivers, they just plugged in more future NFL receivers.
Incredible talent.
Yeah. And Kyle's starting a running back.
That's what he's going to get at Michigan.
And Kyle had a running back at defensive back out of necessity, and he had to play the fourth quarter with a walk-on quarterback, and it's a 3-point game.
I think that
Michigan
whatever
will be
Ohio State can get talent-wise, Michigan will be able to get. The one thing that I am concerned, but I think it's changed dramatically. It used to be, for recruiting purposes, when a coach got in his mid-60s, it slipped because, and Saban said this, they would ask me, are you going to be here?
And for a while, he fought it off with, are you going to be here?
Yeah. Well, now, so what if he's not going to be there?
Everybody can transfer.
Right.
How much money do I get?
As much.
How much money do I get this year? How good is the team going to be this year? How much am I going to play this year? And in 2-3 years, man, maybe there's a handful of people talking about that, but that's just not on most people's radar.
Oh, no.
It's now.
No,
everything is now.
Everything is now. So I think that's mitigated in terms of it doesn't matter as much. Are you going to be here in 2029? Who cares?
I know. I don't know if I'm going to be here either.
Because you can leave.
Yeah, there's a story about a quarterback
every year
who set the record. He's on his 7th school.
Yeah, Finley.
7 schools.
Yeah. I mean, and
he doesn't like spring ball.
Down.
Boom. Yeah.
So I think that's not nearly the issue. And if they have a couple of good seasons here, it's Michigan, so you can have an undefined coach in waiting, or you can go out and get the best coach that you want to get anyway. So I'm super intrigued. I'm glad he did it, because that's what he wanted to do, and I always want people to be happy, obviously. But in terms of a story, aside from any personal relationships, put them aside, from a story perspective, we've added another story. We're going to be following Michigan football unlike we've ever followed Michigan football before, obviously. And so we're going to see, and it's not just Urban going to Florida, and we did follow him in Florida, but it sort of petered out. And here, there's not going to be that shelf. Certainly, we didn't Urban when he went to Ohio State.
Well, Urban, yeah,
he wasn't a Utah guy. This guy's a Utah guy. His family are Utah people. They're royalty in terms of football in the state of Utah, right? And now he's got his son on the staff. He's got Freddie on the staff, and so we have that interest. And then Jay Hill's
on the staff.
Gennaro has been around for so long that he's
Beck
there.
played at BYU and coached in Utah.
And so did Simon.
And then you got how many players do you think he's going to end up taking? Is it 4 now? With Smith Snowden was 4, right?
Yeah, and then Moa, they're saying he's going to go.
That'll be
that's
5. I always figured half dozen in my mind, just because, half a dozen, just a round number.
We're going to follow
5 or 6.
Michigan far more than we followed Virginia.
I think we're going to follow Michigan more than we followed Virginia or Florida.
They're actually at
There's
5
way
right
more
now.
ties. It's 5 now, but in my mind, I always thought it was going to be 5 or 6.
And you're right. You probably
but I
need
wonder
one
if it's coming
more.
to an end here, if there's going to be more.
Well,
he'll be back for the next
players that you want.
Right.
The reality.
I figured
is.
what he'd want is future NFL guys.
Well, and he wanted some BYU guys because they've got at least 2 in terms on the defense that look like they're going to play linebacker and safety, and so you want NFL guys.
But it doesn't look like he's getting it.
It doesn't look like it. No, they want to stay, and good for them, and good for Kalani. I mean, that's a story that needs to be touted. That you talk about we family on 3, all that stuff. Well, if guys don't leave,
we will not be outbid.
Something's going on there. Why are they not letting certain
Well, it's everything. I think it's got to be everything. Right. The money's got to be great. The relationships have to be great. The playing time has to be great. The ability to win has to be great. And if you don't check one of those 4 boxes, then you're vulnerable to losing kids to a place like Michigan.
And I would throw in the elevation of Papinga as D coordinator because
they got to believe in their coaches.
He has a relationship, at least minimally, with those guys. And so they're out on the practice field every day. So there's some, and if you don't like Kelly Papinga, something's wrong with you. I mean, I'll say that flat out. He's one of the more likable guys you're ever going to find, and so they like that. But that's a story that needs to be credited to Kalani Sitake, that players want to stay in this program, and it's a program. They're staying for all those reasons. It's not a team; it's a program. While they're staying, they want to stay. But I would think that Kyle's winding it down. And eyes, no matter who it is, eyes are going to be on Michigan, right? They're a prominent program. They are a top 5, traditionally speaking, program at all times. I mean, it's just a fact.
We got an open mic. Jake says it's pretty good and relates to this. You can just get to our app, use the open mic, send us your hot take. Brian, what does Brian have to say?
Hey, DJ and PK, about this whole Whittingham thing. The one question I have is, where are all the crocodile tears and the shouts of tampering? If one of those players went to BYU, that's all we'd hear about. Oh, they tampered. Why aren't they tampering with the players going to Michigan? Answer that one for me, Ute fans.
Well, I think some Ute fans have been saying that.
100%. I've been hearing that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you can get players without transferring. Everybody's savvy to this now. Like, everybody knows how it works. Players know how it works. You can get players without tampering.
But it is tampering, but nobody cares.
When the agent calls you and says, "What will you pay my guy?" I didn't pick up the phone. They called me. I'm not tampering.
Tampering is a word that has no legitimacy in college football. So get over it. It's not being enforced. It cannot be proven. There's 1,000 different ways
around it. Yeah.
And so it's not real. It's not happening. It's just Kyle said, I won't tamper. He put himself out there. He shouldn't have even addressed it. And I got BYU telling me that a program, another team that they just beat, went on the field and offered one of their players money right there after the game. And he said, no, I'm going to the NFL. So I don't even care about the tampering anymore because it's not real. The coach doesn't have to get involved in that. He doesn't have to even be, he's aware of it, but he has to do nothing. Because you can just have somebody call, whatever, and everybody knows out there, and everybody knows everybody anyway. And so I get it. If it were BYU taking, but the BYU-Utah thing, that's the rivalry, and every little thing is going to be inflamed way more. So I've accepted that. That's the rivalry. That's the beauty of the rivalry, right?
We cash in on it all the time.
Yeah, and that means if I'm a BYU or Utah guy, which essentially I am both, I take that as a compliment. Because that means this rivalry is really,
it matters.
Really off the charts in intensity. And it's so fun to have. I would much rather have it, even with some of the crap, than not have it at all.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The reward is worth the getting emails or having people tweeting at you literally the same day. You're biased against Utah. You're biased against BYU. I've been listening to you, and you have it out for our program. And you can get them in the same day because that happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
But welcome to the rivalry.
I know, but the thing
But
about
you don't
that,
get all the positives without that. You don't get one without the other.
Yes, and I'd rather have that. You're right. But that is laughable after 20. If you wanted to go 10 years, I'll even give you 15, 16, 17. But once we hit the 20-year mark doing this show,
stop it.
yeah. Because it wouldn't have existed this long.
Right.
I mean, I am basically John Gotti now. I am the Teflon Don.
You are a made man.
You can't get to me with that crap. You want to get to me with other stuff? Fine. But to say you're this or that, when when I say the players, I'm talking about the administrators and whatever, and they both sides appreciate what we do, that ought to tell you. Because they wouldn't. Brian Santiago comes up to me in Dallas on the field, Arlington, and says, "Man, you always come. You always show up. Thanks for covering us." Now he doesn't really need to make a good impression with me. He's known the guy since he's 28 years old. When he was an administrative assistant, tie my shoes, Brian. Okay, right? Now he's big shot, but still, that's gonna get that. And I see Mark Harlan at the Vegas Bowl, and he treats me with such respect. If there was any type of indignation, that wouldn't happen. So that doesn't bother me, but it mystifies me. And I think it's a very small minority, by the way. I think the majority. The overwhelming majority gets, we have to cover both teams, good and bad, both universities.
We're going to take a break. I'll read both these for you next. We'll get to everything you missed in this show. Stay with us.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Kelly Papinga, Ben, K-pop, going up, up, up. He's going to be golden. Excited for K-pop today.
That song's a pop. That song's great. The movie's good. The song's incredible.
He's going to be golden, Ben.
I was not expecting.
He's going up, up, up.
So let me gather myself for a minute.
It's been promoted.
K-pop, you're right.
Gonna be promoted.
He's been promoted.
He's been promoted. Yeah.
No, gonna be.
Gonna be golden.
Now he's got to be golden.
Gotta be golden.
He's got to be golden.
He's got to be golden. Going up, up, up in the world.
It's been promoted.
K-pop.
Catch Jake and Ben weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's time for the Slacker Radio headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. Utah Jazz tonight. PK, it's great that you can do it. Most guys in the NBA can do it. The question is, how often can you bring the A game? How often can you win? Consistency night after night throughout the grind. That was great in Cleveland. Now, how close can they come to that performance in Chicago? That is the question in my mind, and I'll be tuning in tonight, 6 o'clock.
Oh, I think they can recreate what they did. I don't think they did anything that was unusual.
Plus 20 on the boards. That's unusual.
That's the other team, though.
It is part of the other team. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's you two. I think the Jazz were unusually motivated for that game, and Cleveland's got issues.
Well,
Whatever's going on off the court in the locker
fact is, you
room.
say it's you too. They still haven't found what they're looking for.
That's true. They have not, and that was very well played. But it's a beautiful day.
I don't know why that
Maybe it'll be
Michigan
a
coach
beautiful
hates
night.
you too. But they didn't. Nurkic is a product of the situation. They don't have any other rebounders.
Right.
So the majority of the rebounds are going to be him.
Yep. But that's 17 still a lot. I mean, I get it. He's going to get 8 to 10 boards because somebody in that position is going to get 8 to 10
We can
boards.
praise him, but has he ever played on winning teams?
Yes, he's played on winning teams, but he's played on very good teams. No, he has not.
So
And also, his minutes will disappear next year when Kessler's
they
back.
need to.
They aren't going to play together. So this is all what Nurkic is doing right now is scaring
product of the
people,
situation.
scaring people into losing the draft pick. He's definitely helped them win games, but this whole conversation, without him, would they be in the 9, 10, 11 range instead of 13, 14, 15 range? Yeah.
Then sit him.
And they did, and it was a horrific
Sit him
55-point loss.
Yeah, I don't-
Sit him more. I agree. I mean, it's clear
He's not your future.
he is not. He is strictly your present. He's a backup at best next season if he's
I
here.
want him to be my past.
You're very close to getting that.
No, I can't wait. But they can beat the Bulls. Bulls are nothing. They've been nothing.
And that would be win number 15, and they'll have to start sitting guys pretty quick here. Because they do think once you get past 25, you're in danger of losing the draft pick.
It simply can't happen.
They could split 2 games with Dallas. They could end up 3-1 on this trip if they can win. Well, then they still have San Antonio, so it'd be 3-2 when it was all done.
Yeah, Dallas obviously is beatable with their
Yeah,
issues.
well, especially when you play a team twice in 3 days.
So do the lottery balls determine whether you keep the pick, or is it the standings?
Lottery balls. So if you have the 6th worst record, there's still a chance that enough teams with the ping pong balls could jump past you and you could lose the pick.
See, that seems pretty stupid.
That is the system. So the question now is, are they going to have the 7th worst record? Are they going to have 6? Are they going to have 5? I had someone insisting they're going to have 5. They're going to keep the pick. 2 different people. The 5 is from one person. The keep the pick is from another. And okay.
I'd sleep better if they were 5.
Yes, I totally get that. Yeah. I think Jake and Ben were looking it up. I can find it in the break. But the difference between 6 and 7, after the ping pong balls, at 6, you have like a 3.5% chance of losing a pick. But at 7, you have like a 13 or 14%
I have no doubt
chance.
that God wants AJ with the Jazz.
Well, why? Why is that? You cannot wait to say that.
What are you talking about?
I was talking. You usually wait till I was done. It came to you. You didn't want to lose a thought. Boom, you hit it. You know how long I was going to go on? I could have prattled on with some stats and some schedules for an hour and a half.
Right, but it wasn't about me. It was about the audience. I was thinking of them.
I know you were. You wanted to share that desperately with them. And now that
I
you
wanted
have
them to.
So why is
have
it
a
you're
real
sure
take
you're
rather
sure
than
of
some
this?
stupid
Is this
stat that
because
anybody could look up?
Is this because someone came from Massachusetts to Washington County to Utah County and Salt Lake County is next? Did you work your way up I-15?
Doesn't it seem like Kevin Young? This is not an accident here that Kevin Young was coaching at BYU.
No, that is not an accident.
This is
Ainge knew of him, and Danny Ainge knew of him and liked him. Yeah.
This is
There was a
a
connection.
higher force,
There was Danny Ainge.
and it's
There was a
even higher
connection
than
made.
DA,
I know where you're going.
who's a spiritual man.
Obviously,
Yes,
that's why you got to witness a hole-in-one on number 7 at Pebble Beach yesterday. Congratulations, Ryan Smith.
there's no question that he wants AJ. Now, I disputed this with Ford Scally when he said God doesn't care how many wins I have. How do you know that? How do you know that? How can you say that?
I'm just loving the Ford Scally's a new thing.
Yeah. I told Ford, how do you know that?
I cannot have a serious discussion with you if you're going to call him Ford.
That's his first name.
I know it's his first name. I was at the press conference. I heard him say it. And I did suspect at the time that I was going to hear it again, and I'm right.
I call people by their first names.
Sure you do.
So I think that it's a confluence of maybe it's just nature.
The stars are aligning.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be here.
Okay.
And you've got to do everything in your power not to screw this up. So sit. I would hire Galuki to come in here and whack Nurkic across the knee.
I think you just butchered the name Galuli, but okay. Galuki?
Yeah.
I don't know who Galuki is.
Sure you did. You did too.
I know who Galuli. I know who Jeff Galuli is.
That's a lie.
I knew who you meant.
See,
I still don't know.
told you earlier in the 7 o'clock hour. you keep lying when you ought to be a truthin'. And you said you didn't know who Galuki is, and yet you did. You even not only did you know Galuki, you knew his first name, which I couldn't remember. And so I think they should hire Galuki, have him whack a few knees,
Okay, Ford.
and we get AJ. And Ace, so we got Ace DeBonsa and Ace Bailey. You get a pair of aces, you stand an excellent chance of winning.
That is not a hand you fold. You
I
play
come from
that
a
hand.
family of gamblers. Believe me, I played 5-card stud with the emphasis on stud many, many times.
I've never heard you talk about that.
That's why
I've never heard you talk about cards. I've heard you talk about going to the track
This
a million
is a true
times.
story.
Okay.
Gospel truth to keep it in the religious vernacular.
Thank you.
That's one of, if not the singular reason why I had to get out of NAU.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it was the cards, huh?
The debauchery that would go on till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I knew there's no way I'm getting that degree if I don't get out of here. And I did. I mean, it was debauchery left and right here, man. And so, yeah, the guys would play, they'd be down, and they just, if you keep at it, eventually you can get back to even, in theory. So, yeah, cards.
Or you can go broke. There's that.
Right.
There are stories of people who can't pay their debts.
Sure.
They are tragic.
But, I mean, it wasn't in the thousands.
Oh, that's good.
We weren't. But still,
You're playing
I mean,
like nickel, dime, quarter?
a buck you'd
okay.
So you'd be down $100, $200.
Whoa.
And they'd stay there all night. I mean,
Oh.
and I'd have to physically remove myself because it was too.
It was too much.
And I
It was
hadn't
too
gotten
much.
away from gambling at that point.
Yeah.
I am now, but at that point,
Right.
no.
You'd grown up around the track, and now you go to the dorms,
Yeah.
and guys are,
So I've since gotten a lot of separation from it. And I know what that is about, and it's dangerous, so I stay completely away from it. But I just feel like, man, they've got an opportunity, and this cannot be blown for a couple of victories.
totally get it.
It just can't.
And I think
It can't be done.
And Nurkic is the kind of player to sit because it's not going to stop. Other guys or young guys have to play. Nurkic is not a young guy. He's not part of the future, but his combination of a little bit of scoring, a little bit of passing, a little bit of rebound, a little bit of
size,
screening,
he's a vet.
and a
He
little
knows-
bit of
he knows how to
size.
play the game.
Exactly. And so he's the glue holding it together, so take him out.
Send him back to Albania. Where's
I
he
wonder
from?
if there'll be a chance.
He's from Bosnia, but that's
Well, that's right next to Albania, isn't it?
He's just got this because of an episode of Cheers that I don't want to get sidetracked with. Albania. Okay, stop.
Oh, send him to Nova Scotia then.
Send him somewhere else and they can get something back, except it's all about contracts and nobody wants to take on the money, even though he's a player who could clearly help somebody. There's always coaches and GMs who need to save their job. They just need to win a little more. You see the difference between winning a championship? No. Can he make you better? Yes.
Send Marketing to Finland. Jorge to Texas. Hendricks and Williams to the G League so they can still play. Who else am I missing? Collier? Just say, man, something happened. Mysterious. I don't know. some intestinal thing that we can't figure out. They got to get it. There's too much at stake.
We had Riley on earlier in the show, and he talked a lot about quarterback development, new offensive coordinator at the U, what'll happen because they kept everybody intact, kept the quarterback and the OC at BYU. So listen to that wherever you listen to your podcast. He does think Indiana's going to beat Miami by 2 touchdowns. You asked him about Cignetti because he knows Cignetti because they were at NC State together.
He's quirky.
Quirky.
But I think that just about everybody is.
The only normal people are the ones you don't know very well.
And when you're in that high-pressure situation and you're in charge of so many people, and then you got to hand-glad these people over here and get Cuban to donate millions, it's not a normal life.
Yeah.
You don't live a normal life, man. So Cignetti, this is one of the most phenomenal success stories in all of sports. Before he got there, they excluding which I think they went 5-2 or 6-2, excluding the COVID season, they'd only had one winning season in 16 years.
So far down.
Yeah.
The UTEP of the Big Ten for old school WAC fans.
And then he gets there, and he doesn't even need what the Devils did was phenomenal, but that was in the second year. This guy does it the first year. Yeah. Wow. That's just amazing. And now where could you go? The Devils didn't back it up. He not only backed it up, he raised the stakes. This is phenomenal. Amazing.
I promised you the Utah and BYU fans both bagging on us in the station at the same day.
Go ahead.
That's why I quit listening to sports radio together altogether. BYU crushes it in the portal yesterday. Utah loses their absolute best recruit. And these are the headlines for each hour of the show. I've been following this for years. It's unbelievable that even with BYU having taken a clear and commanding lead in all things football and basketball, your best shows are still Ute apologists. Granted, I didn't actually listen to Hans and Scotty today. He does come clean on that. How do you know if I was apologists? We weren't listening. But multiple shows are Ute apologists. Meanwhile, Ute apologists, PK.
We apologize for the Utes?
Apparently. Even with them taking a clear lead. But over here, DJ and PK spent the better part of 20 years trying to tear down Witt in the Utah football program. Now he's gone to Ann Arbor. They're suddenly dying on the hill to defend his honor. Make it make sense. That's from Eric Lund, who, credit to Eric, puts his name on it. Good work, Eric.
What are we doing? We're praising Kyle?
We spent 20 years trying to tear him down, and now we're suddenly dying on the hill to defend his honor.
I spent 20 years trying to
Yep.
tear down Kyle?
Yep. And you're a Ute apologist. Wait a minute. How can I be a Ute apologist if I'm tearing down Kyle?
I would believe the Ute apologist has more legitimacy. The night he decided to take the BYU job or take the Utah job, he asked me on the phone, what do you think I should do? And I told him, I said, I think your heart's with Utah. So then why would I spend 20 years trying to tear him down?
Doesn't make any sense.
When the very night he's deciding, when he went to the cemetery to get a communal with his deceased father, I talked to him.
He'd already been at Utah for a decade, and he had built a lot of personal relationships.
Yeah.
Which is why his heart was there.
Yeah.
Because of all these people. Now, it's not that he didn't have relationships with some people at BYU, because clearly he did.
Well, Homo.
He and Homo are tight, and they have been forever. And check their resumes and their careers, and it's obvious why with the time they overlapped and spent together. But so many people, dozens of people at the U.
That's where his heart was.
Yeah.
To think that we spent 20 years trying to tear him down is just insanity.
Awesome to get those on the same day. When we come back, your feedback next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time for your feedback. What do you think about today's show? Tyler, love my kids, but Wednesday, early out days get long. You guys, having Tim Lacombe on, made the day so much better. He's the man.
Okay.
Now let's call Tony Jones, get Ryan on, and finish the day with Joe Ingles, and it'll be the greatest radio show of all time. I believe Tyler is all in on the Jazz, judging by that list of people right there.
Well, obviously, the Jazz still rule in this town. They always will rule.
Even in their fourth straight year of missing the playoffs.
Yeah. They are.
There was an emotional bond. They got here first. They always tell you that in business. Get there first.
Yeah, they're the number one story most of the time when they're whatever they do. We understand that. That's why we freaking obsess over them left and right.
That's why we just spent so much talking about a team that's 10 games under. Well,
Yeah.
11, but we'll see how today's go. Today's game goes.
When I quit this job years from now, I will detox on the Jazz.
You will detox?
Yeah.
Going to swear off them?
No, I'm not going to swear off them. I'm just not going to be obsessing
Forget
about
about
them
them, yeah.
and everything they do. And watch these games and try to analyze and come up with stuff. And you want to look for the positive. Believe me, none of us wants to come on here every day and crack on a 55-point loss.
No fun.
We want to see way more of what we saw on Monday. And basketball, when played right, is a really fun game to watch. When the ball is moving and guys are jacked up because it's one for all, that type of thing, that to me, that is a sport that could really be boring to watch if they're just not doing that, or it could be as fun as any sport to watch.
Smith Snowden's the latest Utah lead from Michigan. How are you feeling about Kyle Whittingham's legacy? And Chris says, well, Kyle recruited these guys in the first place. Why wouldn't they follow him? And a huge program like Michigan, it's a no-brainer for some of these kids. The ones who are good enough. The guys who have NFL futures.
I saw yesterday on social media that guy Clay Travis.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into his politics because I don't care about that. I'm talking about the sports stuff that he puts out there. And he put out, I didn't see it. I don't watch his stuff, but I saw it on social media. And it said that he made it a point where, and I have seen this through my own eyes, that guys, for a little bit of money, they're sacrificing a lot of money because when you stay in the community, you have business contacts. We had Tanner Wall on last week. You can try for the NFL, but he said that being at BYU, he's met so many entrepreneurs that are going to help him.
Listen to it in his own words wherever you get your
Yeah.
podcasts. Search Tanner Wall, DJ PK, and it'll pop up.
And when you're bouncing around,
You're not going to get that.
you're not going to get that.
You are not.
So they are giving up something, potentially. And Smith Snowden, great. Way to go. No problem. But would it mean more in the business world if he stayed the whole time?
20-year-olds don't necessarily even believe they're going to be 40 or 50 one day. It seems so
I
impossible.
understand that. Well, that's the point that the man was
Yeah,
making.
I know.
And then I saw there was a comment. I saw it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then underneath it was somebody saying, this is so true. So many of the Boise State former players have stayed in the community
Stay in Idaho,
and
stay
are
in the community.
thriving
Yeah.
business-wise in Boise.
'Cause they're a
We've all
Bronco.
been to Boise. That's not a bad place.
It is not. It's not a big place either. You get there and you get connected.
And you'll even sort of like Boise is a smaller Salt Lake, basically, right? And they've had a lot of success.
That's what Salt Lake was 40 or 50 years
and
ago. Yeah.
you make these contacts. I know somebody who got hooked up with John Huntsman, and Huntsman set him up. And the guy, this is before I even way before I got here. But he was around the program, and I got to know him. And he still, to this day, is thriving in the business world because of that connection.
DJ PK, we're out of time. Jake and Ben are next, right here on The Zone.